Hey, y'all, this is E. Happy Monday to you. I just want to give you a quick heads up that this episode was recorded on Sunday, March 12th, 2023. We wanted to disclose that because there's been a whole lot of information that's come in regarding SVB since the time of this recording. That said, it's still fun. It's very informative. So, without further ado, let's get to it. Enjoy the show.
Common Sense Media activated.
Live from the 210, it's the Wave of the Few Short Show, and we are your hosts, Mr. Trey M. Carr, and I am E. James.
Welcome to Wave of the Few Short, aka WFS. We are a panel discussion show amongst friends covering a few wild articles and happenings around the web or the world, mostly rooted in trends, society, news, and culture, with a dash, a sprinkle, a touch of comedy. This week, we'll be covering a mom whose stepson is her daughter's father, or as the streets call it, baby father, baby daddy drama, the Ariel Foster scandal, and the SVB collapse. But before we get into those, how y'all doing?
Doing really good, man. It's good to come here during the day. Had a good breakfast with my friends.
Yeah.
Little shout out to Piedras Negras de Noche. It's a cafe that's by my parents' house. Always good.
Nice. I gotta check that out. What kind of food?
Mexican.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm good. I wasn't sure. I know some Spanish words though.
Man, I'm doing all right. I'm tired.
You tired?
I'm tired, man.
I'm tired, boss.
Tired, boss.
I am not. The caffeine is kicking in, so I just had some coffee and donuts with you two fine gentlemen in our pre-show prep and all that good stuff. So, you got any gratitude, love, anything you want to spread? Shout outs?
Shout out to my mom. We went to the Spurs game on Friday. Spurs played the Denver Nuggets, and it was a good time. I bought the tickets. She bought the drinks. Probably should have did that the other way around because I think she came out in the red more than I did. But it was a good time, man. It was a lot of fun. I hadn't gone out with my mom, a little mother-son date in probably 10, 12 years, in a long time. It was fun. It was a good time. So shout out to Mom. Thanks for going and riding with me. And Spurs won. So
go Spurs, go.
It's always good.
GSG.
That's it.
I just wanted to shout out my friends that I went to breakfast with this morning. We don't get together a lot, but when we do, it's always just like old times. So we're there just celebrating. I had a birthday this week, celebrating my buddy getting engaged too. So just success all around. It's been nice.
Nice. I'm going to shout out the Chasm crew for getting together in the wee hours last night and doing a little bit of prep for 2023. We got a lot of moves we're trying to make. I'm just really excited, man. I thank y'all for, doing what you do, being a part of the journey.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's always fun, baby. It's always fun.
Yeah. All right. So we had a little cleanup from last week. So we've been wanting to do this for the longest time. We always say, yeah, we got to follow up on that. And then we never do. So we had the real estate topic the week before. And we were trying to figure out whether or not you have to disclose a crime before selling a house. And our man Trey took the lead on that. So what'd you find, man?
So just Texas-based. So apparently the rules for this kind of differ state by state because that's the way America works. But according to the Texas Property Code, sellers aren't required to disclose deaths on properties that result from natural causes or suicides or accidental deaths. But if there are murders in there, that doesn't fall in those categories. So they're supposed to disclose that, but the Deceptive Trade Practices Act may require that unrelated conditions from the murder or the nitty gritty parts of it don't get disclosed. You're just told there was a murder on this property. It's this guy chopped up 17 different people and had their body parts hanging from the ceilings. They don't have to tell you that part.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They just have to let you know that people, there were murders on the property.
Yeah, but it's got a new roof though. So.
That is very Texas, isn't it?
It's a 20-year roof, man. You're gonna pass up a 20-year roof?
Like, come on, man. Impact resistant?
It's a deal of a lifetime.
Yeah, dude. It's got solar.
Them little Tesla panels.
So Texas, you don't have to really say anything. That's what
Not really. Not really.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
something happened here. Are you comfortable with the purchase?
Wow.
that's kind of
Wow.
That's about it.
I mean, I shouldn't be surprised, but I am. I don't know why.
So this thing, y'all got the gears turning in my head last night, and I found a website that will tell you if somebody died in your house. And there's a little charge on my bank statement that says diedinhouse.com right now. So for $12, you too can also get a public report on anybody that's lived and died in your house. And happy to say nobody's died in my house. There's people associated with my house that have died.
They're not in the house.
Not that they know of. So,
Not that's been reported.
yeah.
You know,
So
you got that part in the back where the foundation looks like it's been ripped up
it's
a little bit,
weird.
though.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that part of the ground that's soft.
So
Rose bushes.
died in house isn't just referring to like murders and things. It's if somebody died in a house, period. Natural causes, gas leak, whatever.
Yeah, you just get a consolidated PDF of that and other information in your neighborhood. But yeah, I just paid $12 for it, and it just gave me all this information.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I found out the lady I got mail for is dead. So rest in peace, lady.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry to
sad.
hear that.
Yeah.
That is sad.
But hopefully not in my house because I don't have time for ghosts.
Wow. Yeah, this is crazy. I'm scanning the site right now.
So if you don't know that, dear listener, you can also just take that back into your own hands. And if you ever get disclosed some information, you can just go to one of these websites and get that information.
There you go. Or if you feel like your house has been making weird noises and you want to know why,
Things that go bump in the night.
you can do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research.
As always, do your research. All right. So
So, man, I told you I was tired. So, daylight savings just rolled back last night or rolled forward, spring forward.
yeah, 1 hour.
I'm tired of this, man. I'm tired of this. There's no reason. I was up. I think we got off our call like 12:30
Yeah.
last night. I went and cleaned up the kitchen a little bit. Got my stuff ready for today. It was like 1:45 by the time I finally laid down. I like laid down, turned SportsCenter on, went to the restroom, came out. It was 3:00.
Wow.
Like,
Man,
Wow.
and it was 3:00. Just like that, it was 3:00. I wanted to get up a little earlier and do some stuff. I got probably 6 hours of sleep last night. So my kids woke up at 8:30 instead of 7:30, I guess. But I just don't understand it. We've been doing daylight savings time since 1918, 105 years, and I feel like it is completely outdated. Maybe it makes a little bit more sense back then. You didn't have like street lights and stuff, but I think it's completely outdated. And you have states like Arizona that don't even do it anymore.
yeah, because they fall in that sweet spot where stuff doesn't really change for them in terms of like daylight and stuff.
I heard that, and I think it was on the We're Not Wrong podcast because they talked about this a little bit. I thought Arizona was a state where half the state was in DST and the other half isn't,
Yeah,
which is crazy. And then apparently, I've always heard that it had to deal with farmers, and so apparently that's not true. It has nothing to do with agriculture people. I mean, they've got chickens. The chickens will wake them up regardless. They got their own internal, or say, not the chickens, the roosters, but they've got their own internal clock. Which I'd always heard that it was for that, but apparently that it's just some bull jive.
No,
as
man,
Shannon
I
Sharp
think
would say.
it's all trash, garbage. It's just
You
it
speak
makes no
French.
sense.
Garbage, Chase Lounge. Sorry.
It makes no sense, man. I don't think it makes any sense, and I think as a not even a country, like as a generation of people all across the world, there are countries that don't do it.
Yeah.
All over the world, countries that used to that no longer do it. I think we all kind of need to get on the same page with this and just let it be 8:00 when it's 8:00, whether the sun is up or not.
Right.
Like, doesn't make sense to me. Like,
I think it was Andrew Heaton on that podcast I referenced that said it had to do with business.
yeah, I was reading that. Like, it was a way to get people to shop longer, go out and shop longer
while the sun's out.
Yeah, but if in today's day and age, half of us don't even go anywhere to shop. First and foremost, like if I want something, I just order it on Amazon. It'll be here tomorrow.
Right.
So it just doesn't make any sense anymore.
And then the entertainment industry, I heard, was the other part of it, because they like rolling back, because the entertainment industry is like, if you're at home, you get to watch more stuff and whatever.
Go out to sporting events. It'll still be light out, I guess, but it's just a different day and age, man. Everybody's got lights. Everybody's got headlights. You can see where you're going. Most of them. Yeah, my wife can't drive at night, but she's got to. So,
well, you know, and we're living in a choose your own adventure society for a lot of things, you know. So I don't think me having to get up an hour earlier or go to bed an hour earlier is going to like really make or break anybody's business anymore. Just let things be as they are, natural. I would prefer it actually next time we roll back, leave it at that rather than spring forward.
I don't want them even to roll back again next time. Let's just leave. Look, we spring forward. It is what it is. Leave it alone.
I just like that it gets dark a little earlier, personally. So,
see, and I'm the opposite. I like it when it gets dark later.
I like the inverse. Yeah, there's more daylight to burn, and I feel like more stuff gets done.
Like I get off work at 6 o'clock, I can still cut my grass when I get home. You know, instead of waiting for the weekend.
Interesting.
So I've just been quiet because I'm trying to find this guy, and I'm gonna have to follow up with this another time. But there's some crackpot guy that thinks there's more than 24 hours in a day because of some weird 5-dimensional or 6-dimensional space thing.
Of course.
He says like 4 days run in the same day because of the way the sun is hitting 2 different parts of the polarity, and like time is an illusion. I don't know.
Time is an illusion.
Are we gonna start talking about Interstellar?
It's something like that. But the dude is just very, very court about it, and he's just like, listen, everybody, see with your eyes. It's just like, I don't understand this. But I'm gonna follow up on that one for sure. But yeah, time is either way. All right. If we follow the sun, if we don't follow the sun, our bodies follow a certain rhythm. So it is still a very jarring thing to get thrown forward or backward.
Yeah, I think it's just let it go, man. I feel like it takes people more time to adjust. Like it's not a one-day adjustment. Yeah. Like it's going to take you a week to get used to the time change.
For sure.
Leave it alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was already getting dark later. Just it's that time of the year.
Yeah.
Whether the time goes forward or backwards or left or right, whatever you want to call it, man.
I just feel like at some point, if we did like get rid of it, there'd be like a sundown at 2 p.m. because we didn't move stuff around. That's like right? Problem for the next generation. Whatever.
Where's Big Rich? That's Alaska.
So speaking
that's Alaska.
Yeah, speaking of generations, let's roll into this baby father drama.
Oh, man, what is this drama?
So, this is an article from The Atlantic entitled, "Dear Therapist, my daughter's brother is actually her father."
Damn.
So somebody who is anonymous wrote into The Atlantic to Lori Gottlieb, who's the person who is the therapist. And the Cliff Notes version is that the father got a vasectomy. He had 2 adult children. He got remarried, and with the new wife, they wanted to have children. So because it had been so long, his procedure was irreversible. So they asked his son, her stepson, to donate, and he agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So they figured, it's their logic in doing this was, okay, well, it's in the family. It should look like him because, it's his son, right? Mm. All the genetics at play, et cetera, whatnot. Well, here's the thing, Skip. She's feeling guilty about it, obviously. So 30 years. This young lady's 30 years old.
It's a long time to keep
18 years. 18 years. No, I'm playing.
She got one of his kids.
And on her 30th birthday, she found out
that was his brother.
Right. So they're considering telling her. And so she's writing in to kind of, I guess, I don't know if she's asking for advice, or it's just like, hey, here's a thing that I'm going to do, I intend to do, and I wanted your thoughts on it, whatever. And so, 30 years, you find out that your brother is actually your father. And the person, the therapist who wrote back, I wanted to actually read this verbatim. She had some great feedback. I'll start at the beginning. "I'm glad that you and your husband have decided to tell your daughter the truth. As you think about how how to have an honest conversation. Keep in mind that there are two truths your daughter will be absorbing simultaneously. First, the person she calls her brother is her biological father. And second, the people she calls her parents have deceived her for 30 years.
It's two things.
Like just stop right there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Just stop right there.
That's deep.
That's just objective truth too. That's not like any kind of way to spin it. It's not like that's what's happening. That's what happened.
You know, I kicked this article around to a few friends because I wanted to get their thoughts on it. And one of my friends was like, well, if it's a donor, it's not too bad. I sent it to my cousin out in Vegas. She was like, ew, gross. No. I kind of lean more in that camp because, I mean, they didn't have relations or anything like that.
I don't know, man. I would have.
Well, at least that's how.
Depending on how that stepmom looked, I might have had one.
No.
I might have had one requirement.
Yeah, might have been stuck in a washer. You don't know.
Oh.
All right, I'll stop.
Bars.
There's a lot to unpack here, but you know what? That's mostly everybody's first kind of
Thought. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
that's where they go. At least guys.
Yeah, for sure. Like, really? Word? Like you start looking at the dad, you start looking at the mom, you start checking for like pineapple tattoos and stuff. Like, no, but
I had a quagmire thought. You know, it's almost like when you ask that you lay out the situation, you know, when they ask, okay, was it a donor or natural? It's like when Quagmire was like, when the person said they were transgender, and he's like, post or pre-op.
that's just right to the point. There'll be some people that will just like blatantly ask, and then they'll ask the kid who's affected by it too. So like,
yeah, that's probably what goes into keeping that secret for 30 years, though. You got to think about all those people like us in the world.
Yeah,
yeah, man.
There's a circle of trust involved with keeping something like that from somebody, but in that article too, it points out that there's like a Jungian philosophy, like Carl Jung. He says the secrets in a family are like poison and it spreads. And it's true because it broke down the concept of like the parents are lying, the son has to lie and keep up either the illusion with his wife or he has her in on it too and she has to lie also. So it's it's something that everybody has to voluntarily do in order to keep up the illusion.
One of the things that the person who wrote in said, our daughter is 30 now.
Yeah.
How do we tell her that her father, in quotes, is her grandfather, her brother, in quotes, is her father, her sister, in quotes, is her aunt, and her nephew, in quotes, is her half brother? Yeah. You know, man. and then think about the blowback. And the therapist says this, you know, if her brother's married, does his wife or, you know
that he's got a kid.
I mean, even the sister, even the her
kid,
the aunt,
the
sister,
the
sister aunt,
the aunt, the brother, and the aunt,
the brother and the son.
Right. I'm saying, you know, how does their partner feel like that? Does the sister know?
Yeah,
she's got to know.
Yeah, there's got to be something, or there is going to be a house of cards that falls. That's the other scenario,
man.
So, but yeah, the therapist just lays it out. Just tell them, expect emotional responses, and don't make it about yourself. Let them have their moment to have those feelings.
The one thing I thought of, I was talking to a buddy of mine about it, and I was like, you know, are you doing this because you want to feel better about yourself? I mean, I hate to be a jerk or wish anything ill, that is, on the family, but is the dad dying? Is this why you want to say something?
Yeah, trying to like get all those secrets off of your deathbed. You don't want to take those secrets to the grave type of deal.
Yeah, well, and it's like if she's really close with her grandfather, you know, if it's going to destroy her, that, you know, dad's terminal. It's like, well, actually,
grandpa's terminal.
Grandpa, you know, old folks go.
Well, grandpa
you know,
died a long time ago. No,
like here you go. This is actually your dad. So, hey, go out back and play catch.
Oh my god! You know how like your favorite brother, like that's the one you favor in Mario Kart and like Mario Party, and you all play chess and can't beat each other. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like you finish each other's sentences and stuff. Well, just sit down, sweetheart.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy, man. I couldn't imagine. I just couldn't imagine this.
Well, yeah, you you got to think like once that hammer drops, there's a big wave at the end of that too. Like, got to see what all gets kicked up and stuff, and it could be something that strengthens the family or divides it. Honestly, there's only two ways it can go.
Yeah, I was about to say those are the only two routes that you have on that, man. Yeah. It's either going to bring you together or push you apart. 30 years is a long time to keep that secret, but also it's a good, you're getting into the realness of your life. I don't think you really get into the depth of your life until you really start to hit about 30, right? So you don't understand who you are. Your whole 20s is like searching for purpose and finding yourself, right? So maybe it's just that time in her life where she's comfortable with who she is and has a rock solid foundation.
Yeah.
So it's time to tell.
Yeah.
Or it could be the other inverse effect. Hey, Pops is just trying to get some stuff off his chest before he kicks the bucket, or Mom, in that regard, whoever it is, just trying to clear the air, or maybe the brother father,
the brother
is tired of keeping these things. He's like, I want my kids to play, my son and my daughter. I don't know. I don't know really what the dynamic is, but that is I got some family dynamics,
Yeah, man.
That's a crazy father dynamic.
Brother.
The brother.
Oh, brother.
Oh, brothers.
Man. The brother.
So yeah, there's a lot there, man. I think either if somebody knows or doesn't know, that's still 30 years. That's a long time to keep a secret, man.
30 years of secrecy.
Yeah, man. That's a super duper long time, as Barney would say. Super duper.
Yeah, Disney, I think Disney keeps the secrets better, maybe, like in the vaults.
Nobody beats Prince's vault.
Oh yeah, Prince's secret vault of 40 years worth of stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Prince has the vault.
Yeah, that secret's probably in that vault. Like, you have to just get it out.
Prince knew.
Yeah, Prince knew.
He was like, now it's time for you to purify yourself in the water. No, I'm playing.
Shout out to Prince.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Oh, man. Well, we can run away from that one.
I would run away from home after that.
Oh,
I'm running away. You have your own house. Okay.
Let's switching gears just a tad bit, man. She's a fraudster. She's a track star.
Oh,
she gonna run away.
Hey, run away. I need some coconuts, man, so I can do a little.
Yeah.
Shout out to Monty Python in a Quest for the Holy Grail, or what is it?
Yeah,
it is
the Holy Grail. Yeah.
Where you guys go ahead, Trey.
So y'all saw that article on Ariel Foster.
Yeah, man.
It's like, man, that's crazy. But I'm also like a little upset that her hustle got blown. Like, what a hustle, bro. So for people that don't know, there's 19-year-old LaSalle University student stole or is accused of stealing $500,000 in a credit card scam. So she worked at the mall at a jewelry store, and basically she was like refunding transactions to herself.
Yep.
Pocketed $547,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now you got this. Nobody, I guess, thought to raise questions when the 19-year-old started buying. Or I guess that's where the questions came from. Brand new Tesla. Dropped $40,000 on a Tesla. Straight cash. We gonna go to Miami.
Right.
We gonna go to Hawaii. got me nice Louis V purses. The flyest freshman.
Yeah, man. They said she had Tesla for $35K. She spent more than $20K on a hotel in Maui.
Yeah.
See, that's some hood rich stuff, right?
Yeah,
like a month, you get a bunch of money. Yeah, you get a whole bunch of money. You just start balling out. That's how you attract attention.
That's exactly how you attract attention.
Hawaii. Oh, sorry, that was Hawaii. Yeah, and then almost $6K on Delta Air tickets and nearly $5K on Louis Vuitton items. Come on,
man. At least fly American.
See, my South. Hey, man, you go to Southwest, your bags fly for free up to $2, baby.
She didn't care.
That's true. That ain't my money. See, like she didn't even scam right. Like, you don't go and flash all that money. You gotta do it low key, move some stuff around, wash your money a little bit. I know I sound like I'm trying to plan my next Ozark season.
Nah, but that's really what you got to do, though. And then if you really want to be business minded with it, you don't go blow a lot of that money. You hash things out. You get some things set up, a couple of accounts, couple of investment accounts.
Yeah, man.
And then you can be 22 and disappear forever.
Yeah, man. And she's 19 years old.
Yeah.
College student up there in Boston. Jacked her life up, man. Jacked her life up.
Yeah.
So she worked at a jewelry store at the Burlington Mall. So that's where she got all this money from. It wasn't like she just, charged up Target. Because Target was going to notice. I mean, it takes a lot to get $500,000. But you talk about jewelry, that must be a nice jewelry store.
Yeah, to miss $500,000.
$500,000, yeah.
Yeah, bro. I mean, that's heavy. So, I mean, we kind of alluded to it earlier, but the police chief even said, and I quote, he said, greed took over.
Yeah.
I don't know how else I would classify it. He says, when I saw the age, I was surprised that as well. And when I first saw the amount, I thought it was a mistake. I mean, she did a great job for a while of getting that money. But as he said, she got greedy. She started going and balling out, showing off all her stuff. I mean, we live in the digital era, man.
Everything's got a trail.
I mean, and then she's 19 years old, so she's probably, doing things for the gram. If she's using FB, she's on FB.
Yeah, dude, she's putting it out there for sure.
Yeah, man, checking in the places. She might be on Be Real. Look at my meal, because Be Real's a new, I say new, but social media site where you put like one picture up a day.
Okay, yeah,
of you just doing something.
Yeah, just jet setting, doing something.
Yeah.
with a Louis bag, like
Exactly. It's like wait, and then people probably, I don't know where she's from. I'm making some assumptions now. This is just E's assumption, but. If she's from a place where they didn't have a lot of money, people see her stunting all of a sudden on IG.
They start asking questions.
Yeah, and stunting is showing off. But you're up there on IG, the gram, TikTok, doing YouTube video. Well, she probably wasn't on YouTube, but you get the point. She's out there on social media, probably showing off her stuff, and then her friends are like, "Hold on, you didn't even get a scholarship. How do you have this?"
Yeah, the YouTube channel is called My Scammer Life.
Hey, you know what, though? You play around, she might have an MTV show. This might be on right after 16 and pregnant.
True Life, I scammed the jewelry store.
Does MTV even do anything anymore? All I do is see ridiculousness play on like repeat. If you ever get on
I think it's Rob Deirdrick's channel now.
Yeah, dude, I haven't watched MTV since
they stopped playing videos in 2002.
Yeah, it's probably, man, wow. It has to be 17 years probably since the last time I really watched MTV. If even that short.
Even back then, it was still just reality shows.
Right. Well, they kicked it off with The Real World. I mean, that's just sad.
It is sad.
She just jacked her entire
life
up over this. Now, I didn't see whether or not she I know she's being charged with larceny, but I don't see like if there's going to be like what the sentencing would be for that. I mean, I imagine she's going to jail. She's 19 years old.
Yeah, $500,000. You're going to go to jail for
quite some time.
I'd say maybe 10. Man, what do you think? 10 years, 20 years?
See, I don't know. I don't know if Boston or Massachusetts do you have any priors? Because some places, especially like California, if you have any priors, or I guess that's really anywhere, that they kind of take that into account. That like the whole 3 strikes law they had back in the 90s when we were kids. They had the 3 strikes thing. So,
I mean, realistically, she couldn't have gotten away with it more than just a year unless she like disappeared.
Yeah, but that's what you got to do with that money. You set it up, spread it out a little bit, get it to multiply a little bit, and then you're gone. Then you just be gone. $500,000, turn it into 3 meals, just disappear. You don't have to steal the whole 3 meal. Just use it to fund your escape.
Get yourself a crypto wallet. Get yourself another identity.
Okay.
What?
I'm taking a turn on this.
All right.
What would you do?
What'd I do? If I had that money in my account already, like checks cleared, like this is my life right now at this time, I disappear.
I'd definitely disappear. I'm gone.
Yeah, I could do remote WFS, but that'd be it.
Every time we get on and do the show, Car's going to be all,
"This is Car. How's it going?" Yeah.
They're like, "I want the voice effect." You can just do it yourself. Like, I'll tell you. Yeah, I'll tell you.
He's got like 12 roadcasters.
Yeah, it'd be I'd be like in a private studio in a bunker somewhere in another country for sure.
Yeah.
And then, I'd send my family letters telling them I'm not dead, but I'm dead, just so they don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
And then just send them care packages. And then, probably my dog would have to fake her death too. That would suck.
The name is Carson Thomas.
Yeah. Yeah, I could actually go by Carson. Yeah, Carson Thomas. Jesus.
So just
Living in.
quick little touchback. So depending on certain things, like the level of larceny, like if it's low levels, you're talking a couple $1,000s. You're normally looking at anywhere from some months to a couple years. But once you get into those high level, more extreme cases, prison sentences can range between like 5 to 20.
20.
Yeah, and being that, like on this site I'm at right now, criminaldefenselawyer.com, like it's talking like, well, things up to the range of $150,000 to $200,000. She doubled that,
Yeah.
tripled that.
Yeah, I was going to say that's triple.
I think she
Nearly tripled.
I think she spent her youth. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like at the cost of her youth now, like she had a great year.
I want to know what her major was. If her major was like financial or accounting or something, like no, you have to change career paths.
Yeah, you can't.
You might want to check out kinesiology. No offense to those doing kinesiology, but they ain't gonna let you near a checkbook ever again.
Yeah, it's a little sad, but also she just had a great run too.
Yeah,
so,
it's a good run.
Wow, really,
Like,
guys?
if it was-
Track star had a great run.
Yeah, but yeah.
If it was me, that money would be in 4 to 5 different separate accounts. One of them would be an investment account, and I'd be gone.
Got to buy property. You got to buy crypto. Yeah, you gotta move that money around.
Yeah, you gotta
throw
move it
some in
around.
Switzerland.
That-
Everybody talks about Switzerland, man. You got to do it. You got to move that money around.
Yeah, it's got to be gone. You can't just, have it up in your security service savings
right.
account you opened when you was 11.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're gonna look at your trends and go, "Huh, she went from this to this in no time."
Yeah, I think you just have to leave the country for good because the moment you come back, as if they figure out that you put roots down somewhere else, like the IRS is going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep. And you know the IRS is going to come.
Yeah. They already knew from the jump. Like once the person and the number changed dramatically, that probably kicked on some sort of flag for them.
Fun fact for you guys: did you know when it comes to financial crime? So you heard of everybody knows the Secret Service.
Mm-hmm.
The Secret Service, yes, their job is to protect like politicians and of the president, obviously, and the vice president. But their other job, they do financial crimes.
So they're the arm of the law for like the IRS and stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, kind of. I watched I listened to Darknet Diaries. It's been a minute since I've listened to it, but my favorite episode, I'll have to send you guys the link. It's called The Carter, and it talked about a guy who was doing a bunch of like a credit card scam ring online, and so that whole episode tracks this dude, this Russian cat, who had all these pop up websites, and so the Secret Service was following this dude. And they ended up catching him, I think, in like the Maldives when it was all said and done.
Damn.
Yeah, man. And it was just a crazy story, but I never knew that. So depending on how much weight, and I say weight like she's selling drugs, but depending on how much, she would have got moving, had she not gotten caught, she probably would have popped up on their radar. Maybe.
Yeah, it just depends on like where the money flows and everything. But you have to really think about where your money is going to get spent once you find your new acquired wealth. Because like, how can you get away from the capitalist big entity that we are in America?
Yeah, that's true.
Like you're not gonna buy anything.
That's right. And then when you come from nothing, he said, it's to the rich, you come from nothing, you got all that money, you just want to get stuff you never able to get.
Yeah.
I want to do the things I can never do.
And that's my assumption. Like, I don't know. She could have come from a good family. That's why, whatever, she's so smart, whatever. I mean, you can be smart and not come from a good family.
Yeah.
But my whole point is like, to go and spend money like that is usually indicative of a person who's out there who doesn't come from anything. Like when you watch all these athletes, these rapper dudes, they go out and they're like, okay, my first big paycheck as a star, I'm going to spend an absorbent amount of money. I got a mansion, I got 5 cars, I got all this other stuff. You get a guy, conversely, an athlete like
Dwight Howard.
I told you that story.
The MacBook.
Yeah, he's like, I bought a laptop. Woo! And then if you ever watch this podcast, and I know you're not in the sports car.
Yeah, not at all.
But the Shannon Sharp podcast is great because he doesn't just talk to athletes. But in this one in particular, he had Chad Ochocinco.
Okay.
Chad Ochocinco
I saw that.
had a bunch of fake jewelry. All that stuff wasn't real.
Oh, wow.
All that, yes. He was very smart with his money. He was like, look, I got to portray the image, but I'm not spending that money.
Yeah.
He was smart about it.
Yeah, people. Kanye said it and J. Cole said it. Went and bought a chain. I ain't even got a house yet.
Yeah, the bonus.
Yeah, man.
First bonus, yeah.
That's crazy. So, speaking of finances, man, what's up with Silicon Valley Bank, man?
So yeah, that's gone down as the second largest collapse since the first financial crisis we've had in the 2000s. So that's a really big deal. I don't think anybody listening has an SVB debit card or anything like that. But
I was gonna get one. I was gonna run a startup, but
so that's the big crux of it. Like a lot of startups had all their eggs in that basket. For some reason, Silicon Valley Bank was just really a hot zone for startups. Like there's a whole bunch of financial rules behind that as to why things happened the way they did. But long story short, is that they couldn't cover the amount of money that every startup was pulling out over a time because they had set up their investments to try and get that money with venture capital.
Wow.
So you know how real estate's gone down. There's that. And I think they also had types of accounts that were compounding interest. But with the rate change in inflation that kicked on, like those initial accounts had kind of been devalued. Like they went from like 11% to like 7% on paper because of the way inflation worked. So those projected income, like profits across 4 years were lower because they were operating at a lower rate at that time. So they had two different ends of the system kind of backfire on them. You have everybody just trying to pull out their money once they kind of see that they're in trouble, and it creates like the perfect storm where the Fed kicks in and closes down the bank. And right now, a lot of companies are insured a very small amount of money in comparison to them if they had more money. So like case in point, we got like Roku and we have Roblox who had billions in the bank with them exclusively. So
yeah, I'm not as well versed in this topic as you guys are, but just doing some scanning, I saw that Roblox, Roku, as you mentioned, which, I mean, there's a Roku TCL TV sitting right behind you.
They come in and take it back.
Actually, they're probably like, buy more, please. We hurting, baby. Quotient there's another company. So you have larger firms that are in there. Roku specifically said that they filed around they said in a filing, it had around 487 million held at SVB.
You know what that's insured? You know the rate of insurance of the FDIC is?
What?
$250K.
Yeah, like a week of payroll for maybe one branch.
Yeah, $250K is what they have insured out of that 400 and whatever $million that they had in there. So all the rest of that money is just, they don't know what's going to happen to it.
Yeah, it's not insured. But the thing is, it was insured on paper, but for some reason that's broken now. Like, some reason they fell out of the, I guess the standard for the feds to come in and bail them out. There was,
now, forgive me because I didn't save this article. I just scanned it and I was like, oh, tidbits of knowledge. So in 2017, the federal government, president at the time, changed a lot of the rules to where once you got over $50 billion in assets, you were insured for more through the bank. And he upped it to $250 billion. Yeah, to get into that extra insurance range. And
that with Bravo, right? B.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. 250 billion with a B. Billions and billions.
As Cat Williams said, you should be able to kill somebody when you say billion. Billion. Go ahead, man.
So they went from 27 billion in the first quarter of 2020 to 128 billion by the end of 2021. The bank did.
Wow.
So they would have been better protected under those previous laws had they not been changed. But the change that they made during that time is one of the like adverse effects that we're dealing with now in this situation.
They could just print more money and devalue the dollar at that point. Like that's pretty much what's implied.
Yeah.
Like, we can cover it. It's going to be that money, but guess what? The dollar's going to go down because we had to go make money.
Wow.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of other financial things at play here that I think all of us involved don't really see the big underpinnings of it. But small businesses are affected. A lot of kind of modular services for the internet are putting all their eggs in certain baskets. So there could be just a big, like they called it kind of an extinction event for startups.
Yeah.
So this is the way like a bubble pops in different kind of industries. And this one coincidentally was just a lot of tech. So this could be the catalyst for two things. It could be a bank run and it could be like a tech bubble burst. But this is like too soon to call. But I mean, come Monday, all those companies are insured that they're going to get at least $250 to be able to pay their people.
Yeah, so it says deposits are insured up to $250K per depositor.
Yeah, and then they said
that is insane, dude. And I'm looking, I'm scanning. So Roku, back to them, had just come off of fourth quarter earnings.
Yeah,
and they beat it with 867 milli. The expectations were 801 million.
So still big number that's not going to be there. Yeah.
They had a fourth quarter loss of $1.70 per share versus $1.72 anticipated. So that's better, right? So they gained more than they lost. And then these dudes had a partnership with Best Buy in its advertising business. Meanwhile, Roblox said in a filing approximately 5% of its $3 billion cash and securities balance was held at SVB as of February 28th, 2023.
Yeah, that company's huge, but I wouldn't expect them.
My God,
You said $5 billion? Or
yeah,
5% of $3 billion?
$3 billion, approximately 5% of its $3 billion cash in securities. So 5% of $3 billion.
Yeah.
AKA a lot of money.
It's over $150 million if I'm
Oh my gosh.
doing my math correctly.
You can't even
my
do 3 billion
gosh.
on the
No,
Apple
you can't.
calculator.
I did 300 million and then just added another zero to the number I got. and I did that math.
Oh, you know what I'm going to do?
Oh my gosh,
All
man.
nines divided by 0.05 times 3. Oh, now give me an imaginary number. 6E10. What does that mean?
To the 10th power.
Yeah. Man,
Man,
that's that
that's-
much money.
That's six. That's three. That's 10 zeros behind the six. So that's six. That's a lot of money.
Wow. So Vimeo had money there too.
All
Space company, Rocket Lab USA. I'd never heard of them, but I was scanning to see stuff that I knew off the top of my head. And I'm just, man, this is terrible. Oh, Fubo. So streamer Fubo TV also filed to inform investors it didn't hold any deposit. Oh, never mind.
Didn't hold any.
Yeah, Fubo said, we're good. We're good here.
Yeah, this company's already getting into their business calls and be like, don't worry, guys. We didn't lose anything. We're not affiliated with them. But that's how big this is rippling across.
Yeah, I heard about it on Friday. I was on the floor at work taking calls, and there was just like people that know people in the bank, and it was it was big. It was all over the Slack.
Oh yeah, dude. I saw on my LinkedIn a guy who had people who left, my current employer and went over there.
Yeah, they did. They took a lot of people,
and they were like, "Hey, we feel for the people because the regulators shut them down."
Yeah.
I know that much.
They promised them 90 days. That's a silver lining to that.
I wish I had that song queued up. We could have ended the pod with that.
Nah, man.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're not on Anchor.
Big things coming. Big things.
Well, we'll see.
No, but okay. So my thing is, I think this is going to cause like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to go snatch their monies out of the bank. Everybody. I was watching, I was on Twitter yesterday, and there was can't remember the bank in California. They had like lines. People, it's raining. People are outside in lines in the rain. 100 people to get their money out of that bank. That bank doesn't have enough money to pull all those deposits. And then another bank doesn't have the money to pull all those deposits. And another bank doesn't have the money to pull all those deposits. So what does that do to the financial market as a whole? It's going to crash it. And this is like a totally opposite crash in what happened in 2008. It was bad lending then. This is just, it's different.
This is credit propped up against old ways to make money like real estate and other stuff that's just currently not turning well.
So, pardon me. We've talked a lot about this, but do either of you know why this collapse happened? I don't think we define that? And if we did, maybe I just, for some reason, didn't understand what you were saying. Because that's the big thing for me, is like, what caused this actual collapse? I just know about the fallout and how other businesses are impacted. I'm thinking about that whole area, Silicon Valley. I talked to a friend in the industry recently, and the thing with all these tech guys, especially like software developers, and especially the ones that are literally in Silicon Valley or the Bay Area, they don't care as much about salary. I mean, they do, right? So $150,000 for a software developer in Texas it's good money. No, it's good money. It's very good money, especially with things are how cheap they are there. Conversely, you go to Cali, anywhere in it, 150K is like, it's good, but it's not great. Like it's livable. So those guys are probably looking upwards to about what, 200K, right? Yeah. But the biggest thing that these guys are trying to do is they're looking for RSUs. They're looking for the stock options. So they'll say, hey, here's the salary. Yeah, that's cool. But what are your stock options? Because what a lot of these companies or these developers are trying to do is get in with a company that's about to IPO. So if they get in early enough with a startup and then they go public, they're due for a massive payday. With a situation like this, these guys that have been trying to hustle that game for a while, that may not be a thing for a lot of companies anymore, man.
So just to answer your question a little bit earlier. So basically what they did was they bought up like tens of billions of dollars worth of like U.S. Treasury and government backed mortgages. And the way that you get your money back off of those, it's like long-term investments. You have to wait for that interest to kick in. You get all that money back, right?
Right.
So they did that. And then, like Carr mentioned, rates dropped.
Yes.
Right? So when you sell them and you don't wait for the long-term money to come in, you're selling at a loss.
Yeah.
So they're selling at a loss first. And then coupled with that, they started having less people put deposits into the bank and more people take money out. So they're losing money from the investments that the bank made in those mortgages and stuff. And then they're losing money because they're not having anybody put money into the bank and everybody's taking money out. They're burning cash out. So all of their money, it just drops. You know what I mean?
The definition of bad business. More money going out than coming in.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. At the end of it. So they're losing billions in that. They're losing billions from people not putting their deposits in. Like he said, you have the guy that puts in $100,000 that pays for the guy that puts in $10,000 and that pays for the guy that puts in $1,000.
Yeah.
That evaporated. They're losing money on that other game, and it all just kind of came to a head.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification, and I'm sure that'll help our listeners, man. That was really, really succinct. Thank you. So, yeah, that's scary, man. It's really scary. And again, going back to my friend that's in the industry I was speaking with, thinking about those people, you people, in that area.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's going to change the landscape going forward.
I guess startups are going to be more cognizant of their CFOs and how they're managing their money.
Oh, for sure.
Because I bet they get like sharks. I bet they get CFOs that are real seasoned and stuff that know how to pop a startup and then move on to the next one.
Yeah.
There's probably some really aggressive business tactics that take place with propping themselves up against banks that do these kinds of things.
Yep.
And
then think about the venture capitalists that are going to, because I think you mentioned them earlier, that are going to say, who are you banking with? That's going to be probably a required question now, right? I mean, not that they could have foresaw this coming, but I think they're going to want to know how, if they're not already asking this, how diversified is your portfolio?
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing.
Yeah, that's just going to be a change on how to actually raise money for startups. I think there's going to be a different playbook for that. I think that's what will change, because betting up against guaranteed dollars from insured banks like that, I don't think that'll be such a reliable thing anymore.
Dang.
Because number 2 biggest fall, that's a big sign for showing that business model won't be sustainable, despite having a startup, having an IPO, having a good run. When you get a chance to get big enough to diversify, you got to get money to make money. And this is the old way to do things. But now with the way the climate changes with everything, I think that will have to change. Something will have to change in the way things are.
Yeah, people are going to start really either branching out with the way they do their money, or they're going to get very slim with the way they invest.
Yeah, or there might just be more private investing on that side. I mean, you always got a private investor when you got a startup company, but that might just lean more heavily into those kinds of things without maybe gambling with the bank. I don't want to put it that way, but that's what kind of it seems like, because startups fail and they succeed.
Yeah,
but,
absolutely.
But it's nice to have something that you feel like is secured, which I think won't be going forward.
Yeah,
because it comes out of our pocket if we're bailing them out. Ultimately,
that's you hit on something there, Carr, that I was thinking, as you guys were kind of laying this out for me. It's like, what's the government going to do? Like they're
not going to let Roku lose $400 billion or $1 million. They had $400 million, and they're not going to just let that go.
I mean, I'm thinking about like, how much is the state going to be involved? How much on a federal level? Because I mean, I say state because it is Silicon Valley. This is it's based out of California, but federal and FDIC. So it's like they're going to have to step into and are we as consumers, we as regular people, is that going to have any major impact on our taxes and things of that nature going forward?
We'll see what that does to the market as a whole. The tax market as a whole. This is going to be one of those things that we can't come back next week and talk about, but maybe in 2 or 3 months, follow up and see what the fallout of it was, or what it's lining up to be, because it's going to be months and months. You're going to have legislation, people. You're going to have all the stuff that has to come in. You're going to have what are those hearings? There's going to be a lot to come from this. So
have different lobbies kind of going for different kind of solutions, and it fell down in 2 days, but it's going to take like a half year to a year for it to
just to even get to any step towards us.
Right. And you and I both work for a financial institution. So it's like, I'm sure probably about 9 months from now, there's going to be training for stuff like this, and there's going to be all types of regulatory changes.
I was about to say a lot of changes.
A lot of
they just went through a lot of regulatory changes. Right. And it's just
man.
That's the name of the game.
Yeah,
Finances change. We'll see how this goes, man. That's oh man, no, that's a crash. If you want to talk about a wave,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That one hit the shore with force.
Oh, brother.
Nice. Well, fellas, I think that'll about do it. What say you?
I say that's it, man. As always, it's a pleasure to ride the wave with y'all. Thank you for your time and your ear.
Yes. So, I'm not going to leave y'all with a call to action this time around. I'm just going to say thank you all for your listening and your support. We've said a lot where you can find us. Stay tuned. There'll be other ways you can find us. We'll elaborate on that at a future date. But until next time, I'm going to say, eat, drink, and be merry. No, I'm playing.
Stay wavy.
Stay wavy. Shout out to the wavy babies. Until next time, peace.